Guys. So this is KMUS Spirit Class, Lesson 11, Part 2. Um, this video will be about 20 minutes because the first one was about 25 minutes. I'm not sure. I'll just give a quick recap of what we talked about. In Part 1, we were talking about Mr. Shattuck and his wife. They donated a lot of money to our school. Again, our book is always missing information. Like I'm sorry to keep complaining about the book all the time, but it's just missing information that I would like to know. Some questions I have are, how much time did they actually spend in Korea? From what I can see in the book, it seems like they didn't visit Korea at all. I don't know. I'm sure they visited, but they were not living in Korea. They were living in America, and he was running his company in America. So I wish I had a little bit more background information about like how much time did he spend in Korea? Did he just visit like once, or what did he do? I'd like to know how a little more about how he knew Edward Adams because, like I mentioned in the book, it says that he knew him because his mother was from the same hometown, but according to the book, Edward Adams' mother died at an early age, so again, I don't want to complain too much about the book, but it's like it's always kind of missing stuff that I want to know, and unfortunately, I don't really know where I would find extra information about Mr. Shattuck because, although he's a little bit famous, he's not like a very famous person, so it's not easy to find a lot of information about him. But anyway, one more thing, I don't know if I mentioned this, but like I said, I made the video late this week and last week and this week too, so I apologize. But I did extend the watching time a little bit, so you guys have a little extra time to watch the video. So I hope it's enough time. Anyway, okay. All right, let's finish up this chapter 5. Um, so the first part was all about Shattuck, but we finished that, and now we're gonna talk about um, Dr. Jung Jae-ho and Park Myung-gyo, his wife. Okay. All right. Those who are aware of the history of KMUS University remember that Dr. Jung Jae-ho, who was born in 1913 and died in 2005, and his wife Park Myung-gyo, who was born in 1918 and died in 2012, made significant contributions to KMUS University. Their love and support for KMUS University and its people were truly enormous. And sorry, guys, I'm on page 170 if you want to read along. The help of Mr. and Mrs. Jung Jae-ho continued for more than 50 years from the early stages of the university's establishment. When the university was desperately in need, they were always willing to help. Mrs. Park Myung-gyo also served as a member and a chairperson of the Board of Trustees for the University Foundation from 1964 to 1976. In addition, the couple was. Hold on, alright, let me fix this. In addition, Mr. and Mrs. Jung Jae-ho, Jung Kyo-jin, chairman of Jeju Livestock Development Company and the first son of Dr. Jung Jae-ho, donated 500 million won to KMUS University. 500 million. So million won is Baekman won. 50 million would be. Why am I so stupid with math? 500 million won. How much is that? Who's good at math? This is embarrassing. Okay, let's go through the math. Let's look at it. Sorry, guys. I'm really dumb. Okay, 500 million won. So 500 So the way you do one to change to dollars is you just take off 3 zeros. So that's $500,000. I'm pretty sure. All right. Let's just do a quick check. So 1,000 won equals $1 because you just take off the 3 zeros. So yes, $500,000. So that's like about oak, right? So he gave even more than Shattuck, right? So remember, Shattuck gave $100,000, and that was a huge impact on the school, and they were able to buy many things. But uh, he gave almost 5 times as much. So we're going to learn about that. Again, sorry, I'm so bad with math, guys. I apologize. My brain is not very sharp. Okay, so his gift shows another outstanding example of love towards KMU University and its people in recognition of Chairman Jung Gyo-jin. KMU University named the College of Music Auditorium Haedam Concert Hall after his pen name. So a pen name is when an author has a special name when he writes books. So it looks like Mr. Jung Jae-ho's son was also a writer who donated to the school. So wow, amazing. So now we're going to learn about the beginnings of Dr. Jung Jae-ho. Dr. Jung Jae-ho was from Cheongju Jung family and was born in Samgang village in Pyeonggang Myoen, Yecheon, Gyeongsangbuk-do, where the 3 streams of the Nakdong River merge. Born in 1913, he was the first son of a strictly traditional family. Dr. Jung Jae-ho lived in his hometown in poverty during Japanese imperial rule. After independence, he left Samgang village to move to Daegu. After arriving in Daegu, Dr. Jung started a socks factory at a corner near Somun Market, adjacent to Kaesung School. Okay, so a little background information. So he started off poor, had a hard time during the Japanese occupation. He made a socks factory after moving to Daegu. He was working in Somun Market, and he was right next to the Kaesung School, right? Remember that the Kaesung School was like elementary, middle, and high school Christian school that was made by Edward Adams. And also Shin Tae-shik, who is the father of Shin Il-hee, our current president, was working there as well. Okay, so a lot of history, this Kaesung school, with our school as well. Okay, so Dr. Jung Jae-ho's factory was right next to Principal Shin Dae-shik, who was living in Kaesung school at the time. Dr. Jung and Principal Shin became close neighbors and had mutual respect to one another for their diligence and enthusiasm at work. So they kind of became friends just by chance, I guess, because like we said, his factory was there and he was right next to the Kaesung school, so they just kind of naturally became friends. So that's a nice story. Their personal relationship developed into a relationship with KMU University when Dr. Shin was sworn in as the 3rd rector of the university. Remember, that was after Park Chung-hee became leader of Korea, because Park Chung-hee said that foreigners should not be leading institutions in Korea, so that caused Edward Adams to step down and Shin Tae-shik to take over. So Dr. Jung also became friends with Edward Adams as well. And Dr. Jung Jae-ho he was very frugal, like he was good at saving money, and he was very diligent. And he succeeded in his business, and his business became very successful. And he became a supporter of KMU University's development, and he had a close relationship with Edward Adams and Shin Tae-shik, and he helped our university when our university was having a tough time, at the beginning. Okay, so let's learn a little bit more about him. He studied in Japan. So before starting his business in Somun Market, Dr. Jung Jae-ho went to Japan to study and graduated from Musashino Senior High School in 1932. He started working in April at Hanshin Mariyasu Kyojo Company in Osaka, Japan, and was promoted to the board of directors. So, interestingly, even though he was a Korean man, he did well in school in Japan and even had success at a company as well. So obviously, very smart man. It was probably not easy for Korean people to succeed in Japan because of their mistreatment of Korean people, and maybe some Japanese look down on Korean people. But despite those difficulties, he still was successful. So that's very impressive. Okay, let's see. So, yeah, he did well in the Japanese company. 3 years later, he returned to Korea and began his business. He applied the skills he learned during his experiences in Japan. He started with a small socks factory, and the business grew to Samho Mariyasu factory by 1935, and then to Samho Group, with a steel mill and a lumber mill established in 1946. Samho Group. I don't know what the Samho Group is. Maybe that's very famous. Maybe you guys know about that, but I don't really know actually. This is the beginning of the Samho Group, which grew to become one of the largest businesses in Korea during the 1960s and 70s. Whoa. So he like made his own chaebol, I guess, right? Again, like I apologize, guys, because I'm always so stupid about history and stuff. I don't know enough about it, but looks like he was really a powerful man, right? Like he started his own chaebol business. Samho Group prospered with 10 subsidiaries, like so 10 smaller companies that were controlled by it. Dr. Jung Jae-ho established Samho Trading Company in 1946, Samho Textile and dye processing, Jeju Livestock Development, and Sangyam Hungup Company. He launched Uiyang Cultural Foundation in 1964, contributing to Korea's cultural development, and became a business tycoon for the industry and economic development of Korea through his commercial success across his subsidiaries. So, wow, extremely successful businessman. So, like, obviously, incredibly smart man, right? Because, even though he started at the bottom, he really made it to the top. So, very impressive man. Let's keep going. Based on his personal relationship that he had with Shin Tae-shik, Mr. and Mrs. Jung Jae-ho developed their relationship with KMUS University. Mr. and Mrs. Jung, who were managing the largest business group in Korea and donated several times out of their own pockets when the university was experiencing difficult times. Given their generosity and affinity for the university, members of the Board of Trustees of KMUS University nominated the two as members of the board. The list of donations that Mr. and Mrs. Jung Jae-ho and their first son, Jung Kyungjin, made are as follows. So now we're going to talk about all of the donations that they made. They gave $30,000 in 1962, and they helped make the Myeonggyo Memorial Hall and the female dormitory on Daemyeon campus. They helped with all construction expenses for the faculty research building on Daemyeon campus. They donated money to make the heaters in the faculty research offices. They gave land in Munhyandong, Busan, which was worth 12 billion won. Wow. They also gave 500 million won in 2007 for the College of Music and Performing Arts. Okay, I got it. Wow. Okay, almost done here. There are 2 pages left, so I'm going to finish this up. Mungyo Village and the Faculty Research Office and Fujaka oil heaters. The female dormitory on Daemyeon campus, which was constructed with funds donated by Mrs. Pak Young-gyo, had a unique internal layout. The bedroom and study room were adjacent, but split into two levels so that students could concentrate on studying in a cozy environment without any disruption. Students loved the dormitory. When KMUS University built dormitories on Sungso campus, the university named the entire dormitory complex Mungyo Village in recognition of Mrs. Pak Mungyo. I'm curious, do any of you guys live in this Mun Mungyo dormitory? I'm curious. Let me know. Is it comfortable like they said? It said it's very comfortable, but is that true? Dormitories are usually not comfortable, right? The Faculty Research Office building that was constructed in 1967 with Dr. Jung Jae-ho's donation of all construction expenses was named Uiyang Hall after his pen name. So again, a pen name is like when you're a writer, you have a special writing name sometimes, and his pen name was Uiyang. At the time, no university in Korea was able to provide proper faculty research offices due to the dire economic conditions in Korea. So, despite that, he provided an oil heater to the individual researcher's office, and that was beyond imagination. Nobody could imagine that. However, due to the donations of Dr. Jung Jae-ho, not only were the faculty research office buildings completed, but each individual research office was also equipped with a Fujika oil heater, the best available at the time. So it must have been from Japan, I guess. Therefore, faculty members were able to concentrate on their research and work productively in comfort. All right, so he helped a lot for the professors at that time. He made sure that they had heaters in their office, so that's nice. In 1992, KMUS University was experiencing financial difficulties due to the expenses of purchasing land for a new campus and the associated construction costs. When salaries for the staff and faculty were at risk, Dr. Jung Jae-ho donated a 7,000 pyong parcel of land in Munhyundong, Busan, worth 12 billion won that he accumulated over his lifetime. A troubled KMUS University had met a savior. Thanks to the help of such remarkable benefactors, KMUS University was able to complete Sungso campus without incurring any debt or to banks or selling Daemyeon campus. In recognition of his benevolence, KMUS University named the College of Business Administration and its annexes Uiyang Hall and carved inscriptions at the main interest of Uiyang Hall and Mungyo Village in commemoration of the contributions of Dr. Jung Jae-ho and Pak Myung-gyo. So did you know that the Uiyang Hall is from Dr. Jung Jae-ho? Okay, 2 minutes left. I'm gonna read this. So I'm on page 176, and this is the last page of our chapter. So, Uiyang, Dr. Jung Jae-ho, was the 13th descendant of Jung Tak Ik Po, who served as Daesasung. Oh my God. Jia Jiangsong and Jia Uijong. Born in 1913 in Yecheon, Gyeongsangbuk-do, Dr. Jung Jae-ho studied in Japan and returned to Korea after independence to establish Samho Textile, the leading Korean textile company. He grew prosperous and attained a position of high honor in the business field. Both he and his wife, Mrs. Pak Myung-gyo, served on the board of trustees for KMUS University Education Foundation for 20 years and made numerous donations. After the donation of a sizable property to aid in the construction of Sungso campus in 1992, KMUS University was deeply indebted to him. In recognition of his contribution, the Board of Trustees of KMUS Christian College Education Foundation recommended Dr. Chung Jae-ho as the honorary chairman of the board, and KMUS University named the Sungso student dormitories as Myeonggyo Village after Mrs. Park Myeonggyo. This building was completed in 2003 and is named Uiyang Hall after his pen name in order to commemorate the contributions made by Dr. and Mrs. Chung Jae-ho. Very nice. Okay, so all right, guys, the unit's done. I hope it's not too boring. I hope some people listened, and I'll see you next week. Okay, bye bye.